Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome to another episode of Ryan Drives, my video blog, and I'm coming at you from my home here in Port Moody. Just had a great day of work down at the dealership. Wanted to send off another thought. Continue on from part one of maximizing your trade-in value. A couple thoughts around how to maximize your trade-in value. So this is going to be part two. Everything that I'm sharing with you is my opinion, coming from my experience as your automotive professional, working at the #1 volume Ford dealer in British Columbia, Key West Ford. You might have different experiences, and that's fine, but what I think is a reasonable kind of minimum standard is just to kind of get with the times. I think everyone needs to get with the times. It's 2015. Dealerships, sales professionals, customers need to realize that we need to do things differently. And so you might think that, kind of holding back, not sharing information about your trade-in is going to help you. I don't think that it will in the year 2015. Information is power. And if you expect your automotive professional to be upfront and honest with you, be upfront and honest with your sales professional. So just to recap what we talked about in part one, we talked about being honest. We talked about do some research. Be an expert on your own product, because at the end of the day, if you're trading a vehicle in, you're essentially selling that vehicle to the dealership. And so you need to do a bit of research on your vehicle, be familiar with your product as you are trading that in. We talked about being realistic, doing some credible research to gather at least some form of number, maybe an average or a range of what you think that you can get for your vehicle before stepping foot in the dealership, so that you can have some realistic expectations. What I want to talk to you about briefly today is how to communicate effectively. And this goes back to doing some research. Communicating effectively is about knowing your product. So when you are talking to your sales professional, when you're working it out, when you're at the sales desk, or maybe just in the parking lot showing the sales professional your car, know what your car or your SUV or your truck is all about. Know what year it is. Know what make and model it is, but more importantly, know what trim level it is. If you're talking about an F-150, know if it's an XLT with an XTR package. If you're talking about a Ford Focus, know if it's an SE or a titanium. Know if it has any add-ons. If a sunroof was an add-on for that particular year, make sure you know that kind of information. That's going to help you communicate effectively and show your automotive professional that you also know what you're talking about. Also, communicating effectively is about making sure that the automotive professional that you're working with understands a little bit of the history of the vehicle. Are you the first owner? Are you the second owner? Did you move from Alberta? Did you buy the vehicle locally? Do you know if it has any accidents? Again, the old mindset might be to kind of hold that information back, but I can't tell you how many times I'm working with a customer, they tell me that there's no accidents on their vehicle, or they're just not willing to share that information. But the sales manager goes and pulls the car proof on the car and shows that there's $10,000 or $15,000 worth of decks. And not that that's a big deal, but it becomes a big deal if you just told me that there aren't any declarations. It's a breach of trust. So communicating effectively is about knowing your product that you're potentially selling to the dealership. That's called a trade-in. And again, knowing things like the trim level, the kilometers, and going back to that important principle of doing your research. Thanks for joining me today. I appreciate the 2 or 3 minutes that I've just taken out of your evening or your morning. In part 3, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks about how to actually get more money for your vehicle. So stay tuned for that. I'm excited to share that information with you. Again, my name's Ryan. I'm the Internet Sales Manager down at Key West Ford in New Westminster, British Columbia's largest volume Ford dealer. I'm happy to work with you, happy to be your automotive professional. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything that I can help out with, I'm your go-to guy in the automotive industry. Thanks a lot, guys.